Concubines, it's time that I talk to you about what I think I'm going to do with my life in the future, okay? Aside YouTube, there's not actually a lot of opportunities these days, people say. So, I might talk a little bit about universities, job opportunities, or the lack of job opportunities, or maybe even going into the drugs business or something. I'm only joking. That would be a terrible way for me to end my days. No. I'm going to talk about sensible things, okay? People always talk about how hard it is to get into universities these days, and that's because there's so many people trying to get into them alongside you and be your peer next to you because you're beautiful, and that they probably want to learn a lot and get a good job because of it. But here's the thing, okay? As a result, university fees have rocketed, and it means that nowadays the next generation of people are going to have to start off their life with like £60 million of debt. And I don't want to be in that position when I grow up. And here's the way to evade it, okay? If you live in England, just go abroad, okay? Like seriously, I've actually given this so much thought, it's unreal, okay? So my plan for my life is to go somewhere and meet people and go to university and become very clever and then get a brilliant job and everything will be brilliant and hunky-dory, okay? Yeah? Of course it will be, because it's me. I'm only joking. But seriously enough, you must try, for instance, America. Apparently you can live and go to university and pay the fees there for as much as you would just pay the fees in England, okay? So it's actually quite a bit cheaper. Also, another idea I had was maybe go to Russia, because apparently there the university fees are like £3,000 a year. And think how rich I could be saving all that money. Say university fees here are like £10,000 by the time I probably get into university, because they're not going to go down, let's be serious. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go to Russia, because I know a little bit of Russian, and what I can do is do a sort of introductory year there where I pay them a little bit of money and then they teach me to speak Russian brilliantly, because my Russian right now is only so-so, I could get by, but not very well, okay? I could go into a shop and say, how much is this? You'd say, "Skolka stoit?" But apparently I have a very English accent, so I'm not going to do much more of that, okay? And apparently when you go to university there, you actually learn a lot more because they have a much more rigorous education system. So, everybody just pile over to Russia and learn lots. The only downside to it is that the degrees and stuff you get from Russia aren't actually very credible, as in people in other countries in the West don't think very highly of them, even though the students that actually come out of Russia know so much more. So that's the only downside to it. I think it means that you have to do like a little more testing when you come back to the West, but I think it's worth it. If you're a gregarious person and want to go abroad and meet Russian birds, of course you do. Unless you're a girl, in which case you might want to meet some sexy Russian guys. After university, it's job time, okay? And when it's job time, there's even more problems, because everybody who's just been in university, now that there's so many more of them, there's going to be so many less jobs to go around in comparison. So you've got to really try hard, okay? And when you try hard, you must also find yourself a job that there won't be many people interested in. So you've got to think of really, really crazy jobs. Like for instance, when I grow up and do a job, I want to just go and jump off stuff. I want to be like an adrenaline junkie or something. Do you know what an adrenaline junkie is? Because I do. Because I want to be one. Basically, work for the Red Bull team or something. Imagine if I worked for the Red Bull team. I like jumping off stuff that's high and dangerous without parachutes. Other than that, I always sort of wanted to be a racing driver or a spaceman. I'm not even joking. I mean, how cool would it be going into space and seeing aliens and the moon? So, please think about your job opportunities and think about them soon, and actually do something in your school time to try and make it, when you make a job application, make yourself sound more credible, because every little bit counts, okay? And I know they sort of try and say that it'll be very hard, and I'm sure it will be, but there's always a silver lining to every grim, horrible cloud. I can't actually think of what it is right now, but I'll say when I do remember what it is. Oh, I remember what the silver lining is to this horrible cloud. Okay, it is that you actually become a better person for the experience. And I know loads of people will say that about loads of things, but seriously enough, you can't actually do much better than this. Because think of the number of people you meet at university, okay? And think if you go to another country, a new culture, you know, even maybe a new language. There's so many things that would make you a better person for going abroad for a little while, even if you had to come back to your own country at the end of it. You know, all I'm saying is get out there and enjoy the world, okay? I suppose though, the thing that's been worrying me a lot is that I'm very lazy and that I don't actually do a lot these days. I mean, normally I used to go on like jogs and play a lot of sport and stuff, but these days I'm just like, nah, effort. It's even too much effort doing sit-ups to keep my beautiful abs. There's got to be some incentive in there. Of course, my subscribers. But still, I'm thinking maybe something I could do in the meantime before I actually go into proper university and jobs is try and make a YouTube channel that actually becomes something worth talking about, because, you know, it's always been a dream of mine to become Casper Lee #2. Are you listening, Casper? Of course you are. No, you're not really, but it's fine. I hope you do. Because the thing is though, is that, you know, something about him obviously clicked and made him work. And I'm sure there's loads of other people out there that are very nearly like him, but there's no little X factor in them that means they're not going to get off the ground. And I sort of hope that I have this X factor, but I've not been tested for it yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I think maybe a job for a lazy person like me would be to just like entertain people on YouTube until life actually catches up with me and makes me do something worthwhile. But it'll be a cold plunge and I'm ready to take it. It's like all of these things, you've got to just take a leap of faith.